The Ravens Flock presents The Black Files, an uncensored interview and review podcast for all geek fandom.
Welcome everybody, friends and pals, guys and gals, boys and girls around the world, whether you're a friend or you're a fiend, boy, girl, or in between. It is Wednesday night, a couple of hairs past 10 p.m., and so we invite you, please, go ahead, pop a squat, pop open a cold one with all of your friends, because you have been granted access to the uncensored, uncompromising interview and review podcast of the Ravens Flock. Welcome to a brand new episode of The Black Files.
All right, welcome yet again. We are here and we still live.
Yes, indeed. Welcome, everybody. Wednesday night, and it is February 15th, in the middle of this very short month of February.
Yep. Thank you all for joining us on this week's edition of The Black Files. I'm your host, Juan Arauz, one of the heads of the Ravens Flock. I'm the tech guru of the team, as I'd like to say, if I do say so myself. I help alchemize plastic, metal, silicone, and lightning, and glass all together in order to show you three a-holes in front of a camera on your beautiful wirelessly powered or internet-powered powered device. Joining me tonight are the usual suspects. First off, let's go ahead and give a nice round of applause to the man with a million opinions and zero apologies, the host of Los Amigos Play, the living it of the Ravens Flock. Say hello, folks, to Mr. Angel Mendez!
Hello, greetings and salutations, my good friends. It is a lovely time and another day to once again stand with you and see in which ways this cyberpunk dystopia will continue to currently disappoint me.
You're not kidding. We're over here. We're nearing 2032. We're 11 years away from that. Actually, wait, no, 9 years away from that. How about that? 9 years away,
Damn.
And I still don't have robo bodies and robo geishas and adorable walking think tanks. I want the military cyberpunk future that I was promised in Ghost of the Shell back in 1997. Not this horse crap. And of course, let us not forget.
Continues to be immeasurable. My day continues to be ruined.
You can't begin to imagine.
Screw all that. I want my flying cars. I'm still gonna die on that hill.
I know. We should have had flying cars 8 years ago. But no.
Where's my flying car, Bruce?
No, his was an electric car, remember?
Listen, technology marches on, okay?
Wayne Tech said that they were going to have an electric car by this year. I put down a deposit. Where's my goddamn electric car, Bruce?
There's something hilarious about the fact that mass murderer and well-known criminal the Joker can't put down a deposit. Just think about that for a second.
Like, how can they justify his deposit? Isn't that weird? Oh, well,
I mean,
it's fine.
Are you going to tell him no?
Yeah, like, are you going to say, like, he paid for it. He paid the money. He even probably paid a little extra in order to make sure that he paid it because he paid it in cash.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to argue against that, you know what I mean?
Exactly. All right, and let's not forget, folks, the founder of the Ravens Flock, executive producer, content manager, the man with the plan, the host of Wrestle Rewind, folks. Give it up for Mr. Jose Casabona!
What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Our legion of viewers, our legion of listeners, everyone, whether you're a member or not, I'm happy to be here with each and every one of you.
Show your happiness, Jose, by going ahead and taking care of the housekeeping here, if you don't mind.
Exactly. Much like all our other shows on this channel, we are simulcasting on youtube.com/TheRavensFlock and twitch.tv/TheRavensFlock online. Hit the subscribe or the follow button on the bottom right corner of your screen. Hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all of our media content. Leave your questions and comments down below, and we will answer them during the duration that we're live. And if you wish to go above and beyond to support the Ravens Flock, then you can become an inner flocker. For $4.99 a month, you will have access to many, many amazing perks that comes with being a member. Juan, explain.
Well, if we've got interflockers in the chat, and I know we do, go ahead and show off those lovely custom emojis. If we can get a couple more flockers up in here by the end of this week, like brand new interflockers, I will be a monkey's uncle, and we'll be able to unlock more perks for you guys. A couple more emojis, and we'll be able to start getting our business rolling. And I want to go ahead and say hello to the folks in the chat. We've got, let's see, Nikki Bella. We've got Linda, for the record, Your Honor. Shelly Fitzgerald. Vixen, the very first interflocker. Lisa Boo. Planet Q's Queen. The Joseph Santos. V's Channel. And let's see here. Yeah, that's all I've got for now. I'm too broke to interflock. Now I hear you, The Joseph Santos. It's okay. Your continued support and subscribing to the channel means just as much to us here. You also get access to.
We got quite an audience right now.
In fact, we also got the scintillating seamstress herself. The Ms. Amy Goodhart is in the chat as well. Yo, Amy Goodhart, and V's channel just gifted off membership over here. Fantastic.
Why, thank you.
Yo,
thank you so much.
The Joseph Santos. Oh snap! Oh snap! Adriana G, Mistress Meg. Wow, really? Project Metal Music. Oh my God, Vixen! You just gave away 5 memberships. Holy crapola! Yo, thank you guys so much for that support. That is what I'm talking about.
Thank you so much. You are fantastic. Truly, without your continued support, we would not be here right now.
Well, I go for seamstress, by the way, because I know you're a costume designer. It's much more it's much more complex than just being a single seamstress on your own, Amy. I was going for alliteration, whatever, to stylize. Vicente Guerrero in the chat is also here. Usually he's here for Wrestle Rewind. Holy cow, you guys are not gonna believe how we're gonna work on this. Now,
actually, it's a good thing that everyone's here, including Amy Goodhart, because what we're about to talk about affects everyone, and I mean everyone.
It really does. Okay, no, you're right. You're not a seamstress. I will refrain from calling you a seamstress moving forward. I was just trying to come up with like a cool little alliteration thing for presenting you, so I will refrain from calling you a seamstress. You are far more than that. You are more than a single talent or a single skill. Thank you for that, Amy Goodhart. And yeah, thank you all so much. Now, I got to go ahead and preface all this stuff. And here we go. We'll put our heads together. There's at least one brain cell between all 3 of us, me, Jose, and Angel. So there's got to be at least one brain cell between the 3 of us. We'll come up with something. Also, Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Hey, how's it going? He smells geek and salty caramel. Oh.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
I like sea salt caramel. I like salted caramel. That's not a bad flavor.
Somebody's been talking to K-Storm about me, eh? Okay.
Eat shit! Stardust Dragon cannot be destroyed by effects.
Angel, what the hell? This has nothing to do with Stardust Dragon. What in the world? Okay. I do have to start us off with.
Go ahead.
With this sort of situation, and yeah, I'm hoping that I didn't bait everybody too badly with this, because holy Lord, this is going to be a hell of a ride, folks. So I want everyone to try to follow along as best as you can. But first things first, I have to give us an obligatory disclaimer.
Yes.
We here at the Ravens Flock are not legal advisors in any way, shape, or form. We are not lawyers. We're not paralegals. We're not studying law. We are simply reporting on what has already been discussed and what is going to be discussed in the United States Supreme Court very soon. And I mean soon. Please do not try to come to the Ravens Flock for legal advice. There are much better people that you can go for. You can actually hire actual lawyers for legal counsel. If you send us money and ask for legal advice, we'll take the money and say, here's a lawyer that might help you out. Thank you, bye-bye. Okay? Yeah. So don't come to us thinking that you're going to get freaking Saul Goodman. You're going to get Lionel Hutz, attorney at law. All right?
Better call the Ravens.
Yeah, call the Flock.
That's a terrible idea.
What?
Calling the Flock is a terrible idea. Listen, if you want your help with promoting a con business, what are your dudes? If you want us to look into some media stuff, we are your dudes. If you want us to give you legal advice, go look for different dudes.
Definitely. Thank you, Angel.
That works.
Thank you, Angel. Thank you, Joe. All right, so yeah. Their obligatory disclaimer. Oh, Legend Traveling TARDIS wants Harvey Birdman, attorney at law. I'll take the case.
I'll take the case. Oh, that show was great.
Okay, now, I kid you not, in 6 days' time, the United States Supreme Court is going to begin taking verbal arguments on a case that has been moved on up the ladder since 2015, right about.
Christ.
This is a case called Gonzalez v. Google LLC. All right? And to put it simply, this all stems from a terrible tragedy that occurred in 2015. I'm thankful that I was able to find an article for this. Or rather, an article that's been archived still, but little did folks know what kind of implications this was going to have. I'm going to go ahead and share the article. It's on NBCnews.com. But I'm going to show folks exactly what the problem is over here. This one's going to be rough, folks, so buckle up. All right, so it started in 2015. American student Noemi Gonzalez identified as a victim in a massacre that happened in Paris. Now, Noemi Gonzalez was a 23-year-old junior design major at California State University, Long Beach, and she was spending a semester studying abroad in Paris. Yeah, she was just a kid, barely 23 when she passed.
That's an adult. Let's not infantilize her. That's a woman.
No, you're right. Well, I'm 36. I see 20. You're right. She's,
I get you.
I'm not trying to be gross. This is like barely.
Let's give her the respect she deserves. That's a woman.
You're correct. Let's see here. Noemi Gonzalez, and she was killed when about 7 different locations in Paris were shot up by people claiming to be members of the Islamic State. This is no joke. As in those a-holes, those a-holes who have been wanting to take over the world and impose their Islamic law on the world. That's them. Let's see here. She was a great girl, her aunt told NBC News. She planned her whole trip to Paris. Always a go-getter, very organized person. Yeah, and this was insane. So, obviously, the way all this turned out, it was there's talking about this eulogy of when she passed away. Now, you're probably wondering, what in the world does the passing of a 23-year-old woman, a 23-year-old college student in France, have to do with the U.S. Supreme Court? Well, obviously, number one, she's a U.S. citizen, right? So that's number one. Number two, the 20 men who were a part of the mass shootings, a part of the mass
event.
The event. Yeah, it was. They were all 3 of them were. Rather, all 20 of them were arrested, prosecuted, and sentenced to their just punishment for taking the lives of at least 130 people.
Jesus Christ! Yeah. No sentence is deep enough.
Yeah. Now, Noemi Gonzalez's family began seeking remedies against Google. The argument, which if you folks don't know, anyone has been living under a rock, Google is the parent company of YouTube, our flagship platform.
That is correct.
So, this has been going on for a while. The lawsuit that the Gonzalez family had contested was that through the recommendation system of the almighty algorithm that tailors its content based on user profiles, YouTube led users towards recruitment videos for these guys. And were in part responsible for Noemi's death. Now, Google, up to this point, has been defending itself with a part of telecom law that's been in the books since 1996. Basically, since the veritable birth of the internet as we know it. And this is the Telecommunications Act of 1996, specifically citing Section 230 of the Telecommunications Act. And these 26 words in this section read as follows, and I'm going to go ahead and show you folks. No provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be treated as the publisher or speaker of any information provided by another information content provider. Basically, all that means is if you're providing a website that other people use and generate content on as a result, you, the provider of the website, are not responsible or liable for any of the stuff that your users write on it or publish on it. Basically, this has been one of the founding cornerstones of internet law and internet defense as it stands here and now. This has been since 1996. It's been here, 27 years, right? Did I get that math right? 06, 60, 23. Yep. I did. Okay, so yeah. Hey, Linda is back in the chat. Also, Marcella Calais is here. Welcome, Marcella. Welcome to the Black Files. Holy cow. Also, Planet Q Screen is over here saying, I remember that tragedy because I was keeping up with the news the night after getting home from work because WWE was over in that region at that time. You're right, and I actually remember that too, namely because of it being a mass shooting in like different coordinated spots, and every single one of these a-holes who were members of the Islamic State, every single one of them basically shouted all the crazy crap that they would be shouting while they were on this, and the fact that all this information was coming out while it was happening in real time was horrendous, and it was horrible. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys a minute to digest what I've got what I've given y'all so far. Angel, Jose, your thoughts?
Okay, then yeah. As far as I understand, cruel and twisted individuals perform a horrible deed. But yeah, no, it feels like they're basically trying to take public law and twist it to their own purposes to get compensation on the matter. And it's hard to argue with people who are grieving over the loss of their loved ones, because at the end of the day, there is no justification that can be used against it. But I can already tell how this is going to turn into a horrible prevalent, isn't it?
Yeah, Angel said it better than I could have. Like, yeah, no, it sucks that this fucking tragedy like this happened to them. And yeah, if this goes through, then yeah, we're all gonna
We are once again going to suffer the consequences of a bunch of jackasses with no impulse control, making everything more difficult for everyone else.
Now,
here's
what's up. That is Section 230, part 1 over here. Part 2, Section 230, subsection 2, specifically is basically called like the Good Samaritan Clause. That is where protection from civil liability for operators of interactive computer services in the good faith removal or moderation of third-party material when they deem, quote, obscene, lewd, lascivious, filthy, excessively violent, harassing, or otherwise objectionable, whether or not such material is constitutionally protected. Basically,
it's the law of mods, basically.
Yes, this is what all content providers, all social media providers, all social media networks use as the foundation for, hey, there's some content that's crappy. We have a say in how much of this gets to be put on our platform. If we deem this improper, we shall remove it.
It makes sense as far as it's understood. Like that makes what you're telling me here makes sense as far as the system shows.
I know, right? Logic. Isn't it a wonderful thing?
This is also the Samaritan law that is used to make sure that you cannot get sued for doing something like hurting somebody while saving their life. For example, remember The Incredibles when that guy sued Mr.
Yes.
Incredible for ruining his suicide? In real, yeah, it's like, I saved your life. You ruined my death.
Yeah, I
Right.
remember.
Well, in real life, Good Samaritan law exists specifically so you don't get sued for helping somebody and they get hurt. Fun fact, that law doesn't exist in China. You can guess how that goes.
Ouch.
Yeah.
God almighty. Yeah.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
The worst of times, the worst of times, the worst of times, the worst of times.
Right.
Times keep worsening. Okay, so we're all following along here? Anybody
Yes,
got
sir.
questions so far?
No, we're good.
Well, all right, cool. I'm double checking the chat over here. Planet Q's Queen. I was trying to get a hold of John Cena, Triple H, and others at that time to make sure they were safe. Oh, at the event in Paris in 2015. Damn. Yeah, for the crap for the bad guys in this tragedy is not protected. Yeah. No. Also, Jen Pearson is in the chat. Hell is it going, Jen? Now,
Hello.
okay. Like we said, this lawsuit has been moving up the ladder since 2015. Now, as I mentioned earlier over here, Google has been using relying on Section 230 in order to protect itself, in order to defend itself. And like I said, it provides immunity from content published on an internet service provider's platform by third-party users. A lower court ruled in the favor of Google, and the decision was upheld by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. Now, the family went ahead and said, no, you done goofed. We're taking this to the top. We're going ahead and we're appealing that up to the United States Supreme Court, to the law of the land, as it were. In the appeal, the family focused more on YouTube's algorithm that was basically tailored to deliver content believed to be in the interest of the end user, meaning that because YouTube uses the almighty algorithm, hey, you like this, here's more of this. You like that, here's more of that.
Here's more of
you
that.
like let's take a religious cause and take other people's lives in the name of it. Let's give you more of that. Saying that since this is their algorithm, that is what indemnifies and puts the burden of liability on YouTube and on Google. Ouch. Now here's the quote. Here's a quote from the petition that was written to the Supreme Court. Whether Section 230 applies to these algorithm-generated recommendations is of enormous practical importance. Interactive computer services constantly direct such recommendations, in one form or another, at virtually every adult and child in the United States who uses social media, end quote. All right? Don't believe me? Here's the blasted quote. Yeah, and I'm trying to keep the name of those religious a-holes out of my screen. Yeah.
They deserve no time in the spotlight. They deserve to rot in a dark, deep hole. Whatever.
It's insane, and it is nuts. So, on the 21st of February, in 6 days' time, where the Supreme Court is going to be hearing oral arguments for this. The time is going to be coming down, and this is going to affect all of us, not just the Ravens flock, not just our Popcorn Planet fam, which includes Nerd Report, Nuke the Fridge, Steph the Alter Nerd, Jody's Corner, Amy Goodhart, It's Kim. It's not just going to affect us. Everybody, every fucking body, all bodies using YouTube in the United States, and not just on YouTube. The implications of this law, of any sort of reversal or exception on Section 230, will basically mean that any social media platform will be liable for all the horrendous horseshit its users put out.
But that does... So, yeah, once again, it's a big case of shuffling the problem to the other side. Damn it.
I know. Isn't
This
this
is the most
deliciously horrible?
non-solution ever. This
Yeah,
will
bro.
essentially, at best, just like even a person like myself, who is admittedly not very versed on the complexities of the algorithm, can tell you that this is an incredibly stupid idea. Putting that level of restriction means that every single social media platform that is subjected to this law will crack down on the rules to a level so intrinsical that no one will be able to post anything. And I do mean anything that could be considered either slightly liable, violent, sexual, or risk, to any level of risk. Because if the company knows that even the slightest mistake could cost them billions of dollars or shut them down, they'll never take the risk. But if people are not allowed to post anything at all that could push any type of boundary, then they will simply not use the platform. So the platform will shut down. So that means that they are trying to use the actions of a bunch of terrorist, extremist pieces of shit that could not be used in any way, shape, or form as an example of a working human being and trying to apply it to everybody. That never goes well. The broad reach never works out that way. It's insane.
You got it right in one, Angel. You got it right on the very first try here. Holy crap!
Oh Christ! I
Jose.
wish I was wrong more often.
No, it's not gonna work, and I guarantee you, like until how many days will this take into effect?
No,
again,
it's
Juan?
not taking into effect. The oral arguments for this
All right,
Supreme Court
right,
hearing
right.
begins
When,
in 6
when
days' time.
does the hearing in
On the
6 days' time?
21st. February
On the
21st.
All right, Juan, I heard you. Thank you.
Joe,
21st.
I was saying like on the 21st, February 21st. I wasn't trying to cut you off. Sorry.
Yeah.
What you were saying?
Yes, as I was saying. Yeah, I can. Yeah, this isn't going to go well with the general public, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be like a huge movement on the internet for people to, act against this. We've seen this before.
Yeah. The thing is, this will also be a huge movement by the companies because this will screw with the revenue. And Lord knows that nothing will make a company take a stand for principles than knowing that their paycheck is on the line. I mean, on one hand, I understand. The parents grieve. And the algorithm did help those terrible people commit terrible deeds. But
Indoctrinating them into it. Yeah.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, they looked for it in the first place. The individual is responsible for their actions. Google didn't kill 130 people. YouTube did not kill 130 people. A bunch of assholes went online and got radicalized. And it was their choice. They could have walked away. They could have looked the other way. They could have turned off the video at any second. But they didn't. I don't know. It feels like this person, whoever is pushing this, listen, I get
Gonzalez
it.
family.
Their daughter died. I cannot begin to comprehend the grief they must be feeling. There is nothing that can explain that. No parent should have to bury their child. But at this point, I don't know, man. It just feels like they're trying to push the blame of the criminals onto the rest of us. As if we have to pay now because of one black sheep guided the wolves into the pens, We didn't do a damn thing. Why are we being forced to deal with the consequences of their actions?
It's going to be an insanely contentious briefing, to say the least, and that's even with being as civil and as upright and as human cosplay as possible when it comes to going to the freaking United States Supreme Court. And we already know that these guys went ahead and overturned Roe v. Wade, taking away bodily autonomy to millions of American women. To millions of American women. To think that they'll go ahead and, in the name of reparation or in the name of trying to do what's right by this one family, like Angel said, no one will ever be able to give them back their daughter, and no amount of money can make that up to them, regardless of the circumstance. But that doesn't mean that the rest of American society at large should have to pay this price, because maybe the Gonzalez family are seeing this bigger picture. Maybe they're not. I don't know. I don't know their brains. I've never met them. I don't know them from Adam. But I can only imagine that they're either so grief-stricken that they cannot, in good faith, see the forest for the trees, or they know precisely what they're doing and have considered the ramifications of what such a ruling going to the Supreme Court could do, and they don't care. Maybe they think they're fighting their own holy war by keeping the horrible people of who pervert the Islamic faith and keeping those guys off of the internet by never letting them ever touch YouTube ever again, without realizing, hey, what about the rest of us chuckle fucks here who just want to laugh at our animus and our manga and our video games and our wrestling and our cons and our celebrity news and our true crime news and our movie news, and we want to talk about this stuff and give our uncut opinions, and already have our freaking we have our vocabulary like censured up the wazoo in order to keep ourselves monetized. By the way, folks, fun fact, this past Saturday's episode of the Ravens Flock, where we discussed the lawsuit against the failed YouTuber Onision, that was immediately flagged.
A waste of space.
Yeah, that episode was immediately flagged to be limited from audiences, so it didn't get nearly enough reach. And the moment that I saw that it was flagged, right after we ended broadcast, I immediately put it in for manual review. That was Saturday. It's Wednesday now, and we still haven't gotten a response back. It's supposed to be a manual review, and it's usually supposed to be within 72 hours. I don't know about you, but 4 or 5 days after is not 72 hours. It's a little longer. I'm sorry to air our dirty laundry like this, but I'm kind of making a point. The point is,
no, Juancho, you're not the only one that's upset about this. I've been checking our statistics every day since Saturday, and to this day, it's still under review. And at this point, we shouldn't be surprised, but we are disappointed.
We should expect the worst.
Actually, two things. Number one, Jose, Nerd Report, my favorite. Louis Lecca's in the chat. He's just gave 3 letters.
Boy.
FYT. You guys know what he means. Number one. Number two, Jose, requesting permission to wrench Louis Lecca and make him a mod.
Permission granted.
Nice.
Very good. All right. Louis, bro, congratulations. You are now part of the mod squad here. Thank you very much for your support. We appreciate you, brother. I'm going to check the chat here as well.
Yeah, you go ahead and check the chat, but getting back into the point, we shouldn't be surprised, Juan, Angel, but come on. I mean, we can't say that we're not disappointed at this.
Oh,
that's
we're not.
Our money that they're messing with.
There's also the fact that, imagine how incredibly restrictive, how already difficult it is to make a living through YouTube or Twitch, unless you fulfill a very specific set of conditions. The rules that they have right now are brutal to the point of being draconic. They are going to get even worse if this passes through. Because if they genuinely try to do this through it, then essentially imagine all of YouTube becoming a worse version of YouTube Kids. Look, everything you do, anything you put that even approaches the slightest term of risk, demonetized. Hell, us talking about this video, me saying the word hell, demonetized. Go to Twitch, demonetized.
Oh, yeah, Angel, no doubt. I guarantee you, after we're done here, don't be surprised if we're going to get the same thing with this video.
Limited reach.
Yep. 5 days.
Yeah.
Why not?
Look at that. They're already screwing with the algorithm so less people can see us. Lord knows we work hard enough to get to this point, and we're not even allowed to cross the finish line because Auntie Susan has tied herself to our legs, and her fat ass is dragging through the trenches, leaving behind a canyon filled with empty hopes and dreams.
Would you like to see? I'm checking it out right this second, and we're already on it. We're already on limited limited ad suitability, limited reach. So which means we're not even finished with the broadcast. We're not even finished with the live stream, and they're already crapping on us. Why? Because we're
about the controversial thing.
I guess. I actually want to read off on the chat here. Vicente Guerrero, so many YouTubers I will miss if this goes down. Tons of great movie reviews like Rambo Wrath for Life, Chris Stuckman, Sinister Cinema, among many more. Planet Q's Queen. Well, Auntie Susan's already hitting a channel called Underground History that goes to the places that World War II and other wars were fought. She suppresses some videos on a Holocaust camp that he visited to show and teach the history so people can learn what happened back then. The Joseph Santos. In other words, you as a homeowner is not responsible for the actions of his guest when a guest disturbs a neighbor. The guest is responsible. You're right. That's exactly it, the Joseph Santos.
Pretty much it, yeah.
Yeah. Like you got somebody who's visiting you as a house guest over here for a few days, and that house guest decides to pick a fight with your neighbor and kicks your neighbor's dog or something like that.
That's their problem. The police take it up with them. Why are they arresting me? It's my house.
Exactly. And yeah, no, you're right, Linda. YouTube definitely needs to fix a lot of issues. However, in this instance, oh my God, this is way bigger than just YouTube. Also, SoundMind is in the chat. Jen Pearson, Lisa Boo, and Shelly Fitzgerald are all in the chat. How's it going, folks? Welcome to the Black Files. We appreciate you all. So, just a question for each of us, says Jen. What is the best solution going forward? As far as YouTube, they're catering to who pays them. Greetings, you fine people, says SoundMind. Thanks a lot. Here's what's up. We're all trying to figure out what we could even do as content providers, as entertainers, as flockers, as people on the internet, 3 a-holes in front of a camera. If we had ourselves set up on a separate website without having to rely on YouTube for hosting, that would be incredible. Like, I literally have... Okay. Folks are going to probably laugh. Probably not. This is how paranoid I've been over the years in terms of how reliable I think YouTube is. You know what these are, right, guys? Jose and Angel know what these are. Do you folks want to know what these are? Jose, tell them.
Those are hard drives.
Where we can save lots of information, like, for example, videos that get removed forever.
And ever.
Specifically, these are our channel. These are every single video that the Ravens flock has produced on YouTube since 2013. All of them. All 10, almost all 11 years of it now.
From the best episodes to the worst crap we ever made. All of it is here.
And all the outtakes and all the media, some of it, we even have the original raw files. It'd be incredible. And Planet Q's Queen over here is asking, have you guys set up on Rumble yet? Funny question about that. No, we haven't. But if this goes down and if it turns sour, it won't matter. Because even though the lawsuit is against YouTube and Google, it will be used on everyone. Everybody. Every website. Twitch, Vimeo, Dailymotion.
Sorry. Think about it. What would give the people in power more joy than being able to control the exact level and stream of content? Because they figure they have no choice if it's applied everywhere. And then that means that then you can only talk about what they want you to talk about. Nothing else. And it's ridiculous, because when you think about it, that will most likely turn off anybody who might try to do anything. Countless YouTube channels would simply disappear forever, which, when you think about it, wouldn't that screw up their revenue even more if they lose users?
Oh, absolutely. Because this will leave every major platform, not just YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinster, all social media as we know it.
They'll be affected.
Will be affected because they will either have to have one of two things happen. Either A, they will have to put down such draconian, restrictive, and unspeakably authoritarian guidelines that will make you think that we've gone back to the Victorian era where, oh no, dear me, I'm showing a bare ankle. Oh no.
How dare you, Juanjo? Come on, this content is not appropriate.
Wait, doesn't that mean that literally all of OnlyFans will cease to exist?
Maybe.
Because basically every starting OnlyFans uses social media to promote themselves. Lewd or non-lewd, it will completely screw over the entire business model, which means that all of Twitch will basically go to hell. Seeing as the majority of the highest ranking producers there are OnlyFans girl or professional gamers. Especially multiplayer professional gaming, which, as you know, has plenty of foul language between people who have, well, let's just say we don't have the highest level of maturity. Point in case, this is a very not safe for work environment, and we're trying to put the kitty gloves on the entirety of it, and there is no way this is not going to go terribly wrong.
That's option A. Option B, which you guys can probably tell why I'm censoring the finger I'm using for option B, would be that if and when any one of these websites, any one of these social media platforms gets struck by a series or a slew of individual or class action lawsuits against how lewd and horrible and terrible these websites are, that they simply would not be able to operate just on fighting on litigation alone, that they would be forced to shut down completely. The end.
Oh,
now, folks, Lisa Boo is asking something over here. Sorry. Lisa Boo and Vicente are kind of asking here, but I'm clarifying. This is not a bill that is being voted on. This is not something that's in Congress, where you have the Senate and the House of Representatives and having their constant battle of woody woody woo 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 of them like, oh well, we'll give you this if you give us that. Blah, blah, blah. That bullcrap. There's no 2/3 majority vote. We're talking about the United States Supreme Court. This is a case that went in court. That the Gonzalez family lost the case to Google because Google was using Section 230 of the Telecommunications Act of 1996 to protect themselves. The family said, no, we're going to go up to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. The Circuit Court of Appeals said, nope, Google still does it. Google still has this. The Gonzalez family said, no, screw all you, we're going to the Supreme Court. And in 6 days' time, the Supreme Court will begin hearing arguments from Google's legal team and the Gonzalez family's legal team in order to come to a determination. And yeah, no, this isn't a bill where we can call our congressmen or call our senators. Yeah, even if this was a bill, by the way.
This is something that's been happening for years. This has been happening for a while. And the Gonzalez family have taken it higher. And there's nothing higher than the United States Supreme Court.
And that's the screwed up part. By the way, we're kind of screwed over here in Florida. If this was a congressional thing and there was a law and there was a bill, Jose and I, and Angel and I, us three, we have former Governor Skeletor, Rick Scott, and Dipwaddle freaking Marco Rubio as our senators, and they would just simply say, oh, well, who's giving me more money? Google. Well, I guess we'll go that way. Oh, who's giving me more money? Oh, all these nonprofit political action committees that are supporting the Gonzalez family that are throwing loads more dark money my way. We'll go that way. No, this is worse. This is so much worse because the Supreme Court has 9 folks. 9 of them.
Yep.
And you only need a 5-4 ruling in order to lay down a case once it's been appealed up that high. Now, if the court actually finds in favor of Google 3 times in a row, that's it. Tic-tac-toe.
The end.
You're done.
Can't do it again.
The Gonzalez family can't sue that anymore. The internet remains as it is, as the wonderful, wacky, wild cesspool that we have all grown to know and love and loathe and like and hate and make money off of and lose money off of. My God, have we lost money off of that we have been knowing since the first time we booted up those free AOL America Online discs that we would try to collect as we were going through in the 90s. And you use that, and we would destroy telephone lines, all that jazz. However,
I'm not sure if I'm ready to go back to the dark ages of internet right now, because when you think about it, even if this incredibly unfair ruling were to pass, which I gotta be honest with you, I find it unlikely.
I hope it's
sheer amount of money that would be lost. But even if it went down, how is this going to stop people who are radicalized? Let's not lie to ourselves here. The human body, the human brain is monumentally smart, at the same time is monumentally stupid. A few YouTube videos do not radicalize somebody into becoming a terrorist and killing innocent people. That is something that builds up for a long, long time. At this point, it just feels like they're trying to use it as an excuse. Like, I get it, I do, but This person, the person that killed your daughter, they did not become the way they were just because they went to Google and saw something they shouldn't. They have been like that for a long time. That is the kind of process that takes a while to build. Let me ask you something, Juan. Do you have any idea how hard it is to train a soldier to kill people?
I do, as a matter of fact.
You gotta break a person down and mold them into a machine that follows orders, pulls triggers, and doesn't ask too many questions. Now, it might be less required for somebody who is basically running in and gunning down innocent people, but hunting people is bad for the soul. You do not become like that just for watching a couple of videos. Otherwise, by that logic, everybody here would be a serial killer by the sheer amount of violent video games that we have played.
Right?
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And if it goes through, it will essentially simply convince people who already had those inclinations in mind to go deeper underground. And I hope you're ready to see the dark web get far more use than it's supposed to. At least in the cold light of day, people that perform those horrible deeds can be identified, tracked down, and stopped before they get to that point. This was a horrible tragedy, make no mistake. But trying to put an entire safety blanket over the planet, that never works. It's never worked before, and it's not going to work now. And that, I believe, is the reason why I believe this is not going to go through. Because Google knows this. They do not become one of the biggest media companies in the world by being stupid, despite their recent decisions. They are going to go at this with the full force of the legal team and bring out every single argument they can to essentially boil down to the fact that no, the needs of a few cannot outweigh the needs of the many. And as much as I hate to agree with Giant Company, I have to this time.
No, Angel does have a good point because there are giant companies that do rely that need to make money, and I want to piggyback off of you, Angel. Another reason why I don't think it'll go through is because, as Juan just listed off, the track record with the Gonzalez family against Google. Like I said, this has been going on for years, and every time they appeal at the courts, every time they went higher and higher, the results have always been the same.
Yeah. Like, best case scenario I can see of it is Google paying them some reparations in the form of some massive amounts of cash to essentially keep them pacified. But no, what they're asking for is, I really hate to talk like this, but it feels like I'm commodifying the death of the innocent as a number on a spreadsheet. But as much as I hate to say it, their grief is not enough. Their loss is not enough to justify that level of censorship. Nothing is enough to justify that level of censorship because they are essentially dragging the entire country, every single company that they have already obtained and basically relies on the algorithm to do business into the grief of their issue. And while certainly it's 100% justified that they're angry about their loss and that they feel justified on it, I feel like in their anger and grief, they are not considering the long-term ramifications of their actions. And more likely, how unlikely this is to happen, because I hate to be cast a stone, but I don't think this is going to go well for them. This cannot possibly go well for them. It's too broad. I hate to use the food allegory, but imagine if your family member died because they ate a meat skewer and a chunk of bone got locked in their throat, and your response is to try to shut down the entire meat industry. It's impossible. You can't. And I feel like this is the reason why they've lost the case time and time again. They keep reaching too high. You are trying to overturn a law that essentially keeps 90% of the internet running. It can be done.
No, it's like you were saying. If someone eats tainted meat or chokes on a bone or something, you can go after the restaurant. You can maybe even go after the individual cook, because that's the person who was responsible for preparing the meat, making sure that it was in good standing, cooking it correctly, presenting it, and going through a chain of quality assurance when you're obtaining it from there. But going after the entire, like you said, the entire meat industry, not just beef, but pork, chicken, everybody, even like outliers, like individual markets, they would all be affected. Nowhere would be safe, because if the Supreme Court, who already, like I mentioned earlier, who already has just the most spectacular freaking track record of taking individual rights away, i.e. the overturning of Roe v. Wade, in order to quote unquote work with the families or work with what's morally correct or whatever, or allow states' rights to determine it all. That's not going to fly. It's not going to work out very well. So that is the concern that a lot of folks have in terms of how the Supreme Court may rule on this. Because they could very easily say, no, we're going to uphold what the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, we're going to uphold the lower court, we're going to uphold the original ruling, Section 230 is bigger than this, sorry for your grief, 3 strikes, you're out. It could very easily... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I didn't. No, please, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, no, I was trying to say, like...
I already talked enough already. So
yeah,
please,
no, I was about to say... it could very, very easily go the other way, and the internet will continue with nary a feather ruffled. But the current incarnation of the United States Supreme Court has a pack of a-holes. One of whom, I kid you not, is a known frat boy and accused of having done horrible stuff to women himself. Likes beer. He drinks beer. He likes beer.
Oh my God, this
likes
guy.
beer.
There's a lot to unpack with Judge Brett Kavanaugh.
And so, yeah, it's a freaking problem. There's not a lot of high hopes on that, which is why it's funny that Google had actually reached out to a couple of YouTubers and asked them to join in a video testimony as part of an amicus brief that was prepared by Google and by YouTube in order to produce as part of the arguments. I don't know exactly all of the YouTubers involved. I do know that one is let me see here. I'm trying to get his name correct over here. Okay, yeah. It would be Devin James Stone, who's better known by the YouTube channel Legal Eagle. Yeah, that dude. This dapper gentleman who... yeah.
He knows a thing or two.
I would imagine he does. I mean, after all, he's a real-life freaking lawyer. I would imagine that David would know a thing or two over this kind of stuff.
Before we go any further, Gene Rick just dropped a $1.99 super chat saying, thank you for bringing this to our attention.
We appreciate that, Gene Rick.
Thank you, Gene. I appreciate it.
It's the least that we can do. We try our best to help folks out. And yeah, no, very dapper dude, excellent YouTube attorney, well-dressed man, sharp-dressed man, I mean. I think ZZ Top made a song about him. Point is, he knows the deal. He also put out a video. I believe he put it out today, or was it yesterday? I don't know. Give me a minute, because I think I saw it. Give me just a second. Don't mind me. Actually, kind of mind me, because I'm over here doing research live, but whatever. This is nothing new. Live research from the Ravens flock.
There's a fascinating aspect to the psychology of grief. It's a little line that blurs justice with revenge, because when you think about it...
10 hours ago.
It strikes to me like the family is essentially trying to get some manner of, I wouldn't say compensation, some manner of justice in their heart. Because when you think about it, there's nothing they can do beyond this point. The criminal that killed their beloved daughter has already been arrested by the police. He's rotting in a dark, dank cell, getting his eyes plowed by Big Bubba every night or some shit. There's nothing they can do. You cannot reach the bad guy. Like, all you can do is trust the law and presume that the punishment in jail will be enough, but it doesn't feel like it's enough because that piece of crap took the life of your little girl. And, I mean, hell, man, imagine going to a grieving parent telling them, shit, man, I'm sorry for your loss, but at least that piece of shit's in jail. They'll agree with you, but you know that deep in their heart, they want that person dead. And you can't really judge them on it, because if somebody killed your child, it doesn't matter what the law says. You wish that you could put your hands around their neck and squeeze until the struggling stops. But civilized society is an imperfect society, so we have imperfect regulations, rules, and solutions. The criminal is in jail, hopefully for the rest of his worthless, miserable life, which will be short too. but it doesn't feel like justice. So you need something to make you feel like you have, I don't know, honor her memory, anything to feel like you didn't just stand by helplessly and pray by a tombstone. It's the philosophy of grief, and there is no logic that can be applied to this. I hate to say it, but there won't be a happy ending for them in this one, because at best, they might get some monetary compensation from Google, but ultimately, they're essentially lashing out. It's too disconnected. It's like trying to sue the car shop where the criminal got his car to commit the crime, but it's not even a car shop. It's tangentially connected to... No. It's like trying to sue the car brand for the criminal getting a piece of crap car that they used to commit the crime. You know, it's too many degrees of separation. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. No, it's like... You want to know what it reminds... Sorry, you probably remember this one, Jose. You know what it reminds me of? This one episode of Boston Legal where we had a lady walk in to James Spader and William Shatner's office, right? Crane pulling Schmidt, and she says, "Yeah, I want to sue the entire U.S. government for the loss of my child during the September 11th attacks."
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, like
yeah.
There's a lot of okay, what?
Yeah, it's exactly like that. It is exactly like that. That is the perfect example. It's
actually
the grieving parent trying to find someone to blame to take to task for their loss.
Yeah, before we continue, guys, comment here from the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. It's because that person judged themselves as executioner. Think about it. This person will see another sunset, eat another meal, watch another show, play another game. She will never have that.
Exactly. It doesn't matter that he's in jail. The fact that he's still alive feels like an insult to the memory of every innocent person whose life they took.
Real quick, I want to say, I hope Adriana G, I hope you get better over here. You're saying I'm so sick today and test tomorrow. Pray for me. Yeah, no sweat. Please rest up as best you can. If you need to go knock out, because it's like almost 11 p.m. Eastern here. If you need to rest or whatever, please do so. Catch us on the replay, because this is... That
being said, a couple of other comments before we continue here. The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS actually continued from what they said. He is saying he took that person took that away from her, and he gets, for a better term, the privilege to live a life she won't have. Now, Planet Q's Queen's comment here. The other point is that on YouTube and other social media, you have the right to free speech. That is in our Constitution of the United States.
About that, one minor correction. Very, very minor correction over here. And not to piss on anybody's bowl of Cheerios over here, but we do have free speech. But remember, the Section 2 of... subsection 2 of Section 230, the Good Samaritan Law, where the internet website has the ability to take stuff down in good faith if it breaches their rules or if it breaches basic decency over here. We do have free speech. However, we are also at the mercy of the terms and service of these internet providers. Or rather, not these internet providers, of these platforms, of these websites, of these social media platforms. So, yes, we do. We have the right asterisk.
Yeah, the asterisk says you have the right to free speech, but you do not have the right to a platform. I can say whatever I want, but I cannot demand a microphone so I can be louder. I mean, it makes sense. Otherwise, can you listen? I know that the rules of YouTube are kind of garbage, but rules are needed to a certain extent, because otherwise people would just be uploading porn and gore all over the place. And you know they would, because people are jackasses. So a certain amount of moderation is needed. But, as you said, terms and services.
Exactly. There are terms and services that may apply. It's just, it's going to be troublesome if this does go through, if this does continue happening the way it does. And if this Supreme Court ruling goes down the way we hope it doesn't, and for some reason the Supreme Court finds in favor of the Gonzalez family, there goes everything that we know about how social media operates as a whole. Not just for us, not just for you folks, everyone here in the U.S. And imagine how that'll affect everybody abroad. Businesses who do business in the United States, they're going to be scared of how they're going to be dealt with if their users on their social media platforms, on their websites, may be hosted or are brought to the United States. We'll have ourselves a self-imposed great firewall of America. And we'll have built it ourselves, and we'll have locked ourselves in. There goes everything from international commerce to international contact with other people to international content that's produced by other countries. There goes all our anime. There goes all our European broadcasts. Anything from Asia, anything from South America, Latin America, Africa, freaking Australia, freaking Antarctica, our penguin buddies, and the research outposts that colonize the center of Antarctica. Bye bye. Nope, we're not gonna get to talk to our goddamn penguins anymore.
Not even the penguins are safe. By the way, no, Juan is not saying this for the sake of sounding like I'm trying to stir panic. This is a very real and very dangerous possibility, because the morons that regulate the websites that we use regularly are, ironically enough, hilariously out of touch with how the system works. And I guarantee you that at least a few of those fools think that somehow if they have more control over what people do and say on their platform, they will guarantee its success. Never mind the fact that the growth of the platform is the only reason why it's gotten so far to this point. So yes, there are idiots everywhere, unfortunately, even in the offices of power. By sheer power of majority, it is very unlikely that this will go through. But we cannot rest in our laurels because the possibility is always there, and some idiot with too much money in their pockets and a stuffed fancy suit might decide that this is the way they want to run the world.
That's exactly it. Yo, Project Metal Music is in the chat. Hey, Project Metal Music, I'm glad that you're
hello.
Yeah, that you're keeping in touch over here, man.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you very much for joining us. No, we don't have penguins here in Florida, Planet Q's Queen. Juan was referring to the penguins in Antarctica.
I thought you were talking about the penguin archetype. It still needs support.
This is what happens when I open up one slightly comedic can of worms.
No. We need this. We need this. Damn it. We need an icebreaker for this subject.
It's been kind of rough. Let's not lie to ourselves.
Jen's right. No more happy feet. No more dancing penguins from DreamWorks or the Madagascar penguins or whatever. Nope. They're all gone. Bye-bye. Bye. Can't freaking talk to anybody. Because what if it's too lewd or lascivious? We might not be able to have that content here. Better block it out.
Don't forget, YouTube's new idiotic rules of conduct are trying to go back in time and demonetize previous channels and previous videos, even for people who already, well, for lack of a better term, changed their way of education. Like, imagine if you are a YouTuber like, I don't know, Mr. PewDiePie. By the way, he had his kid. Congratulations to him. I'm very happy.
Good for him. Now he's a daddy pie.
Yay.
Exactly. Now, the dude made enough money that he doesn't have to worry about anything YouTube does it again. He can live happily for the rest of his life. Congratulations to him. But imagine, if you will, that he's still dependent on that YouTube channel to make revenue for his family and his loved ones and, you know, his children, his future. And suddenly, the channel goes back and takes away previously monetized videos because he said or things that right now are not considered appropriate. Now imagine that applying to everything forever, predictably, from the future. Like, what can we even talk about? Like, let's be honest, the Black Files, we talk about some controversial stuff. Some bad things happen, and we gotta talk about them, even if they're unpleasant or triggering. We put a warning, you know, because we're good boys and girls here that like our audience be properly warned and all that jazz. But let's not lie to ourselves. If they could find a way to take away any hope of our monetization, they would. But they don't understand how this whole thing works. They don't comprehend the sheer weaving pile of shenanigans that goes on with this crap. They don't get it, and it's going to bite everybody in the butt. Everybody.
All of us.
Agreed.
And you're not going to believe this mess, guys.
Oh, no.
I was pulling it up and trying to pull up the news articles that I had saved over here. I came across a wonderful... I don't even want to say his name. Okay, now I did say that the actual initial situation of this is being dealt with in the United States Supreme Court, the actual Supreme Court. But at the same time, there are members and committees in Congress that have a vested interest in the outcome of this court case. Specifically, the United States Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation that released a press conference just this past Monday on the 13th, and it's. I don't know if I want to share the link to people because this person's nauseating enough as it is, and I wouldn't want to subject people's actual computer screens with the option of making them have to click on it themselves. So,
disgusting.
For your peace of mind, folks, and to cover my own ass,
and
this
also
press
my ass.
Yeah.
Hang on. Just 1 second. Get on my tongue, phosphoric acid.
My man's trying to cleanse his palate before the foul taste lands upon his mouth.
Texas Senator Ted Cruz, who's the ranking member of the Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation, he's saying he's launching a sweeping big tech oversight investigation. And a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee.
I haven't heard in a long time.
Be thankful, Jose, that you don't follow politics as close as I do. I'm sorry, folks. I'm going to try to minimize this as much as I can. Let's see. This a-hole, who's also a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, oh my lord, today sent a letter to social media companies Meta, Google, Twitter, and TikTok, launching an oversight investigation into these companies' use of recommended algorithms and their reported use of blacklists, de-emphasizing, and other means of reduced distribution of content from users, including many conservatives. In his letter to these big tech companies, this a-hole wrote, "As you are well aware, social media companies rely on algorithms to not only moderate content, but also to surface personalized recommendations to users. Recommendation systems play an increasingly ubiquitous role in the selecting content for individual consumption, including by prompting some content, using product design elements to prominently display recommendations, and downranking or filtering disfavored content and accounts. The design of these systems is especially important in light of the Gonzalez v. Google LLC case before the Supreme Court this term, which concerns whether Section 230 immunizes platforms when they make targeted recommendations of third-party information." I'm not going to read the rest of this
because he didn't give a shit about this until now.
I'm just over here giving his. Do you notice the point of this? What was right here at the beginning of it? His concern isn't keeping disgusting content from people. It's the reported use of blacklists, de-emphasizing, and other means of reduced distribution of content from users, including many conservatives. He don't give a shit about actually keeping horrible ideologies such as religious extremism away from people or not distributing it. He's just butthurt over the fact that his ideology, which happens to be conservatives, is part of the group that's being downsized or de-emphasized. So that's why he's raising a banner and going off with tiki torches. That's not out of his character, by the way.
Wait a minute.
In order
Juan.
to rail other social media and big tech companies.
All right, Juan,
Wait a
I gotta
gosh damn
pause you for a
second
second.
here.
Angel would like something to
Yeah,
add.
go
Angel,
ahead. Go on, right ahead.
Mr. Juan Arauz, are you telling me, are you coming on to me right here and telling me that a politician is a self-serving, egotistical piece of shit that is using tragedy for his own means? No. Say it is not so.
I have never heard of that since. Okay, I can't continue this joke.
Yeah, no, seriously, this stopped being 45 seconds ago. This piece of shit really wants to bring that crap here. Of course he does.
Of course he does.
As long as he could benefit from it.
Yeah, of course he does. I think I'm gonna go ahead and show this old bag over here for us.
Yeah, Juan,
No,
while you're doing that,
really?
I do want to turn my attention here to the chat here. We did get a $5 super chat from the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Thank
the
you.
Legend of the Traveling TARDIS every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Whovians, you have a new destination here on YouTube. Okay,
Yep.
so they were promoting themselves. That's good.
No,
Good
it's
to
fine.
do.
We're fine with promoting
Pretty
Legend of the Traveling
dope, pretty
TARDIS.
dope.
Thank you for the $5 support. We appreciate it immensely. And of course, Legend of the Traveling TARDIS every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern time, right here on YouTube, folks. We appreciate every single one of y'all. Dear Lord,
Jen Pearson,
and yeah,
Jen Pearson here with the comment. Thanks, Juan. You really know how to make us sick.
my bad. In my defense, I'm just reading what that idiot wrote. And Marcella has to go, Juancho. Lots of good vibes to you and your channel. It's not just my channel. It's Jose's. It's Angel's. We built it, the three of us. I'm just the guy who makes all these gadgets and doodads and wibbly wobblies.
This city.
Yes, it is our channel.
But yeah, we appreciate it here. Marcella, be sure to check out the rest of this on the replay when you can. And please, at your convenience, share this video. Share this channel. Share all of this because this is important. We appreciate.
Now, Sam, yeah, sorry.
Go ahead.
Sam Buddy here with the comment saying, I don't think Section 230 is such a big deal at all. The issue with 230 is that platforms that acted as social media content abused Section 230 to become quasi-publishers without the responsibility.
Now, that may be true here, Sam Buddy, but we also have to consider the ramifications of what any sort of ruling that would counter against Section 230 could open up. The flood of ridiculousness that this could unleash. Now, I will say one thing, and this is me playing devil's advocate, okay? This is me starring Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino. Excellent movie from the late 90s, by the way. Vanity. It's always been my favorite sin.
I like that movie.
Right? It's messed up, isn't it? But it's one of those good messed up stories, isn't it?
But go ahead and get to your
Okay.
point.
The point I'm making here is, let's say, for the sake of argument, that for some reason, Section 230 no longer, no longer provided any serious protection for platforms, for social media platforms. And YouTube was all of a sudden swarmed with a bevy of lawsuits. However, this wouldn't actually be too far off from what's feasible. Do you guys know why?
Why?
Because we spoke about one such lawsuit this past Saturday night. The Onision lawsuit. Because, if you guys remember, it's not just that filthy YouTube pedophile Gregory James Jackson. I want everyone to know his name, by the way. Gregory James Jackson. He has changed his name a million times over, but it's not going to change the fact that there's a paper trail because he refuses to leave the state of Washington, where you can look that stuff up publicly and for free, by the way. Hi, Greg, you're still an asshole. It's not just that guy who's being sued. It's not just his spouse, but also Google and YouTube are named defendants in that case. Remember, because of the almost the exact same argument that the Gonzalez family has been putting forward, the almighty algorithm pushed content to underage teenage girls, which included this filthy YouTube pedophile, this YouTube monster, which brought these underage teenage girls into his audience, where he then began targeting them, where he then began to speak with them off platform, where then he began to have him and his spouse begin interacting with them in a disgusting, unconscionable way.
Yeah.
And it's at that point where the folks at Google and YouTube and Auntie Susan and her almighty algorithm would almost absolutely be liable for this shit. You better believe that if there's something that happens, that would be the one and only case where I would be rooting all for the downfall of Section 230 if it meant that that son of a pig, that filthy YouTube monster, Gregory James Jackson, was taken for every cent he's worth and then taken for every other cent he doesn't have and will never have because he would be in a goddamn debtor's prison if that was still a thing.
All right.
That would be the only case. But everywhere else, where you don't have nearly as much questionable content or content that leads to such questionable consequences, like, oh, I don't know, the rest of us here on goddamn YouTube, we don't deserve that crap.
Yeah.
Agreed. I actually, if you don't mind, Juancho, I actually want to turn over here to the live chat because there's a comment here from V. Joseph Santos. The big question is whether or not the First Amendment protections means that Google is responsible for the automated responses of their algorithm. Is this equal to knowingly aiding a criminal? We don't know.
Sam Buddy also says, I think it is mainly to force big companies to decide if they monitor content based on their own opinions, expect the mandatory illegal content, or if they allow free speech. Let me see here. He also says, Sam Buddy also says, I believe the cancellation will focus on the latter part in Section 230. No, mainly focus on the big platforms that took to editing content instead of being platforms such as Hunter's laptop during the 2020 elections. Yeah. That's one case where it could be working on in that front. No, that's what this isn't about. There's a family that lost a child in the tragedy in Paris attacks back in 2015, Sam Buddy. This Planet Q's Queen. Vicente, be thankful for your lack of knowledge on this. Knowledge will not set you free here.
But speaking of Vicente, just to break the ice a little bit, Vicente Guerrero commented earlier, it's wrong to even think that YouTube might lose Juan's ranting on Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks.
We cannot miss this. It's too important.
We can't.
We really can't.
I'm sorry, Juan.
No, it's okay.
But for real,
we need some levity in all this.
Juan and Joe have actually pointed out a very important aspect of this whole thing. The fact that while moderation is needed, nobody here is thinking of finding the middle of the road. It's always the same thing. Everything has to be an extreme. Either everything goes my way or it goes the other way, because you know they're always going to do this. It always turns into this mess. Essentially, anytime that the regulation is thrown in, he said it himself. They have been using this to essentially play God and become their own publishers. And you think a certain amount of moderation would be needed to stop that from happening. But instead, it becomes a giant tug of war of either allow everything or censor everything. And nobody wants to find any between. It's kind of depressing, to be honest.
Angel, you do bring up a good point. And even if they do try to find some sort of compromise, there's no way that it will be an even 50-50 compromise, because one party will want more than the other in the joint deal.
A party will always want more than the other. That is literally there is no escape. I wish there was like a proper solution here, but there isn't one. There is literally either one party wins or the other one loses. And for the sake of the majority, then the family is going to have to lose, because there is too much riding on it. And the massive companies that are literally relying, like, let's be honest, Google's business model is the algorithm. And Google is too powerful. It's too important. If anything is going to destroy Google, is not gonna be this.
It would be Google itself.
Exactly, just like King Kong.
The only thing that can defeat King Kong is another King Kong. Unless you have
What's
Godzilla.
the beauty that defeated the beast?
Unless it's Godzilla, in which case they'll slug it out and then they'll have to team up and fight Mechagodzilla and just call it a draw afterwards.
Friends.
That was a great movie. I don't give a damn.
God, that movie was
It was so stupid and I loved every second of it.
It was really cool. That being said, let's see here. A couple of comments here from Sam Buddy. For my knowledge, if 230 is canceled and YouTube chose to not only monitor and enforce the basic illegal mandatory by law of content, they couldn't be sued, but the users will be.
That's true, but we're talking about the first part of Section 230, which provides the indemnity, which basically provides that the platform is not responsible for what the users publish on it. That's the part. That's the real focus on it. It would have to be an interpretation where that law would somehow be wibbledy-wobbledied out of existence or out of relevance. In which case, it would have to go right back to Congress to find a way to re-uphold that law with some new legislation, with a new amendment to it, which would be a pain in the ass. Fun fact, the original, you guys have to remember that the Telecommunications Act of 1996... Oh, actually, this isn't a remember thing. This is just a thing that folks would need to know. That it actually amends the original Communications Act of 1934. It took 62 years of freaking time between the Communications Act. This is when freaking FDR signed it into law. And the Telecommunications Act of 1996. So that was FDR and then Clinton. All right. We had a bunch of freaking presidents in between then, where up until that point there wasn't really that much to worry about. But with the advent of the internet and online communication through there, they needed to have a new law in order to build on what was already in the communications law of 1934. There goes my fuck
People don't understand how ridiculously slow the law can be to change even the most minor of details for the sake of inconvenience. And yeah, that imagine how difficult it is to change a single law or to amend a single law. And imagine the amount of time and work that it would take to even try to do that to something as massive as Google. It's literally not happening, people.
Now, of course, we do have folks who are trying like crazy to try to fight back on this. One of which is, of course, a little-known company called the Electronic Frontier Foundation. It's a non-profit organization that defends digital piracy, free speech, and innovation. Basically, these guys are your boys helping to back up free speech on the internet. Mm-hmm. So there is a piece that was written for the Electronic Frontier Foundation, written by Joe Mullen. So I'm going to share the link to that, and I'm going to show folks in the chat. And Amy, by the way, you notice how you also got wrenched there as well? We went ahead and made you a mod in between Saturday and over here, so welcome to the mod squad as well, Amy Goodhart.
You're all right, girl.
Yeah, let's see. And, oh, good lord, Planet Q Screen's like, Godzilla, Kong, Rodan, and Mothra need to team up to fight Gigan, Mechagodzilla, and King Ghidorah. And Sam Buddy talk about uselessness of institutions and saying, "Oh, I understand Congress." Let's see. The first part of Section 230 from D. Joseph Sandos strikes me as redundant because the First Amendment means the government can't criminalize speech alone, where the speech is made is irrelevant. And Sam Buddy says we also have the issues of the SCOTUS, right? Either we respect their authority or we decided that they're not a good body. We can't be okay with it based on whether we agree with their politics. And yeah, and
exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's okay. It's totally all right there, Amy. And she said that she had to step away to walk her puppers, her fur babies. That's perfectly all right. And yeah, no, you're perfectly all right over here, guys. We appreciate that. Yeah, and that's 100% what they're saying over here, that between Sam Buddy and the Joseph Santos. So I shared the link from the article written by the Electronic Frontier Foundation. Here it is. EFF tells Supreme Court user speech must be protected. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on this to help folks who may be watching on a tinier screen. Blah, there we go. Legibility. There you go, folks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Hey, we got two out of three of us in the Ravens flock need to wear corrective lenses, and the other third is in denial, so he wears shades. So,
can you all see I'm legally blind?
Hey, listen. The future is bright for the Ravens flock. That's why I wear shades.
I know,
Damn.
Jose.
My man's is thinking for the future over here.
That's why I'm borrowing your shades right now. Oh! I'm kidding.
Stolen
You ruined it. You ruined the look.
Yes, I ruined the look.
The meme is dead. Joe will never wear dark glasses again now.
I'm joking. All right, the Supreme Court is about to hear a
Christ,
case that
his
could
dick is
dramatically
broken.
affect users' rights online. EFF has filed a brief explaining what's at stake and urging the court to preserve the key law protecting user expression, 47 USC, Section 40C, subsection 230 of the U.S. Code. In Gonzalez v. Google, the petitioning plaintiffs make a radical argument about Section 230. They've asked the Supreme Court to rule that Section 230 doesn't protect recommendations we get online or how certain content gets arranged and displayed. According to the plaintiffs, U.S. law allows website and app owners to be sued if they make the wrong recommendation. In our brief, EFF explains that online recommendations and editorial arrangements are the digital version of what print newspapers have done for centuries. Direct readers' attention to whatever might be most interesting to them. Newspapers do this with article placement, font size, and use of photographs. Deciding where to direct readers is part of editorial discretion, which has long been protected under the First Amendment. If courts narrow Section 230, we'll see a censored internet. If the plaintiff's arguments are accepted and Section 230 is narrowed, the internet as we know it could change dramatically. First, online platforms would engage in severe censorship. As of April 2022, there were more than 5 billion people online, including 4.7 billion using social media platforms. Last year, YouTube users uploaded 500 hours of video each minute. Requiring pre-publication human review is not feasible for platforms or of even moderate size. Automated tools, meanwhile, often result in censorship of legal and valuable content created by journalists, human rights activists, and artists. Many smaller platforms, unable to even access these flawed automated tools, would shut down. The Gonzalez case deals with accusations that Google recommended content that was related to terrorism. If websites and apps can face severe punishments for recommending such content, they're very likely to limit all speech relating to terrorism, including anti-terrorism counter-speech and critical analysis by journalists and intelligence analysts. The automated tools used to flag content can't tell whether the subject is being discussed, commented on, critiqued, or promoted. That censorship could also make it more difficult for people to access basic information about real-world events, including terrorist attacks. Second, online intermediaries are likely to stop offering recommendations of new content. To avoid liability for recommendations that others later claim resulted in harm, services are likely to return to presenting content in blunt chronological order, a system that is far less helpful for navigating the vast sea of online information. Notably, a newspaper or magazine would never use such a system. Thirdly, the plaintiffs want to create a legal distinction under Section 230 related to URLs, the Internet's uniform resource locators, the addresses that begin with http://. They argue that Section 230 protects the service from liability for hosting the user-generated content, but it should not protect the service for providing a URL that others can access, so that others can access the content. The Supreme Court should reject the idea that URLs can be exempt from Section 230's protection. The argument is wrong as both a legal and technical matter. Users direct the creation of URLs where they upload content to a servers. Further, Section 230 does not contain any language that indicates Congress wanted to create such a hair-splitting distinction. To rule, as the plaintiffs argue, would cripple online services up and down the internet stack, not just social media companies. The primary means by which everyone accesses content online, the URL, would become a legal liability if the link led to objectionable content. All right, I'm going to leave it there for now because that's a lot even for just like the first 2/3 of that article from the Electronic Frontier Foundation. Holy shit, boggins. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my absolute mind.
Please, Juan, please don't throw up.
No, I've got some Imodium in my system. It's called sheer steely rage. Over here. Good mercy. Yeah, I really hope it doesn't go that far. And Sam Buddy appreciates good, intelligent discussions. Excellent. Yay. Awesome. See,
yes.
We can have dialogue. Yes. And I get it if like usually on our main show, The Ravens Flock, we have like 3 or 4 big stories that we talk about, and we usually take like an hour and a half. And here on the Black Files, we just zero in on one, and we can go into it in detail. We can all talk about the nuance of this stuff. All 3 of us, we had our take on it. We're pretty much in agreement. Section 230 needs to be upheld. Go figure. We're rooting for the big, evil, giant tech company. I gave my opinion on the one time I would be okay with Section 230 not being in place, and that's to give this a-hole, Gregory James Jackson, the finger. Yeah. Fuck you, Greg.
But we understand the necessity of it as an imperfect solution to an imperfect problem, regardless of the matter. You said it yourself. There is too much at risk on speech to allow something like this to go through. Exactly.
That's exactly it. Let me see here. I'm double checking the chat. Yeah, and Amy saying, yeah, Suki just got a new toy and she's going wild. Sorry, I love fur babies too. We got 3 cookie, coal, and caramel. There are rabbits, and anytime like they really do like staying in their cage anyway. So when we try to do clean outs is when they bink around and jump around up and down the hallway while I'm doing the cleanup work, and K-Storm is watching them, making sure that they're not crapping all over the carpet. But that's okay. We can clean it.
There's a comment here from Sam Buddy. I think you already read it, but I'll read it. And newspapers and bodies are protected by the First Amendment, but also can be held liable. But the burden of proof of liability and defamation is improbably high.
Yeah, it would basically have to work on the equivalent of saying, let's say we here at the New York Times are 100% full-throatedly endorsing kicking penguins in the teeth, or something like that.
Yeah.
It would have to be something so direct and so blatantly obvious that it cannot be mistaken for anything else. So if it was objectionable content or whatever, it would have to say, we here at YouTube and Google, under our almighty algorithm and the rulership of Auntie Susan, do hereby full-throatedly endorse kicking ponies in the butt or whatever. I don't know. And it would have to be, to penguins in the teeth. You get what I mean? It's
no, I get what you mean.
No, Planet Q speed, like, do penguins have teeth? Semantics.
Yes, actually, they do. They're all over the roof of their beaks, and it looks terrifying.
I thought that was ducks.
No, penguins have teeth on the roofs of their mouths.
No, right.
It's almost like a lamprey eel.
Wancho, how the hell did we go from penguins to ponies to ducks? What is with you?
I'm trying to talk, like, okay, my mind is like, yay, we have cute rabbits, and Amy is taking care of her fur babies. So I'm thinking, like, okay, what can be something that any human being with a mind and a soul and common sense would find objectionable? Hurting animals. Hurting live animals.
I know. All right.
So unless you're Chinese.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Like you wanted me to walk you through my stream of consciousness. I'm walking you through. It's not my fault if you trip on my stream. Don't trip on my stream of consciousness and get all pissy about it when you ask me to walk you through it. Okay, Joe?
I'm not pissy about it, Wancho Doolittle.
I know you're not, like, you get what I'm saying. Yeah, like you said, penguins in my brain went whoop, lol. JD held for the statement.
I summon Nightmare Penguin.
Penguins. God almighty. Yo, Takahata 101 still owes us a wrestling match for his internet championship back when Team 4-Star was here in 2012.
I have not forgotten.
I have not forgotten.
I will never
I
forget.
think of nothing else. Takahata 101, Curtis Arnott. We still remember, son. You still owe the Ravens flock a rematch, buddy. We're on. It's been 10 years in the making. Let's get this going, son. I'm kidding.
He can't claim that he's more relevant than us. His entire channel died after they stopped doing a bridge.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, feel kind of bad now. I do wish that they make it eventually.
Man, I feel like we're almost punching down. Don't they have 10 times more subscribers than you? That's not the point. The point is we're still making new content.
Right, we didn't do it ourselves.
God. No, you're not wrong. Let me see. Sam Buddy, BTW, how was JD held for the statement? Content on Twitter posted by his lawyer, Adam Waldman or something, but Section 230 protected Twitter, but not Johnny Depp, but it did Waldman. I'm still confused. I'm confused too. Holy crap. And yeah, that's why we can't figure it out, because yeah, Johnny Depp, he doesn't even have a Twitter. He's not on Twitter. He's on, he's got a Instagram, if I'm not mistaken.
He has an Instagram. He doesn't have a Twitter.
Yeah.
Smart
okay, but that's
thinking.
beside the point. Yeah, but it's like, okay, it was that what's his nuts? It was that his lawyer at the time was speaking on and was claiming that he was speaking on behalf of Johnny Depp, which is why Johnny was held responsible for what his lawyer said like an idiot. But that's a whole different bag of...
So for once, it wasn't a case of don't say anything, let your lawyer speak. It became stop your lawyer from speaking. He's a danger.
I am no longer requesting stop your lawyer from talking.
This is no longer a request.
This is no longer a request. Wasn't that... Okay, yeah, no, that meme's been used to death everywhere. But yeah, no, I think... Okay, we've got folks from YouTube, like Legal and other YouTubers who provided an amicus brief of their own. The Electronic Frontier Foundation, who are the top dogs in terms of protecting free speech on the internet, however objectionable that free speech may be. We've got big hitters, we've got heavy hitters coming forward to speak on this. And as stupid as it is, even that idiot senator from Texas who ran away from his state while it was in the middle of a blizzard, even that idiot is as selfish as his own goddamn reasoning and purposing may be, is also stepping up, but he's also stepping up and trying to find a way to take down big tech companies, all because he's butthurt that that people with his ideology just aren't popular.
Indeed. Let us not forget the iconic words of Captain America. Yes, the enemies of our nation are despicable, but this nation was found on the idea of freedom of expression. We must allow all ideals to be expressed, both noble and ignoble.
Exactly. No, Captain America said it himself. It's pretty straightforward. Just let people decide if they want to consume this content or not. This guy happens to be a disgusting a-hole who let our previous president call his father an accomplice to the assassination of JFK and insult his wife, and he decided to just, instead of standing up to the guy, decided to go down and say, be sure to tap my head when you're ready, and he never got that head tap. It's been 6 years, and he never got that head tap. Yeah, he's a bitch. But, yeah, even he has his reasoning for it, as stupid as it is. Point is, we have heavy hitters on the front line here at the Supreme Court, and by the time that this episode of the Black Files is done, we're only going to have 5 days left before the oral arguments even begin. So, what can the regular Joe Schmo do? Honestly, the only thing I can think of is spreading the word. Spreading the word, sharing these articles, sharing this stream, sharing this episode of the Black Files. Here's that article again from the Electronic Frontier Foundation. These guys are number one when it comes to defending free speech on the internet. If it's within your means and if you believe it's worthwhile, you can consider supporting them or consider supporting the Ravens flock ourselves. Because Lord knows we're going to have to find a way to reach out on social media and to reach out to people if this crap does go down. Earlier today on his stream of Pop Culture Justice, Andy, our buddy Andy Signor, the Lord and Ruler of Popcorn Planet, he was talking with Steph the Ultra Nerd and Louis Lecca. They were talking about how YouTube isn't alerting people of when they go live or when they have new live streams coming up. And they're also, in terms of revenue, it's been reported here that YouTube has updated their terms of service where
Again.
where the monetization gets split and we get even less. They're now taking 45% of all like ad revenue and like 35% of all like super chats, super thanks, stuff like that. But in exchange, they let you monetize the YouTube Shorts, which people are still like using but not really using, like YouTube's version of TikTok.
Stupid thing still. See.
So so Andy was talking to Steph and Lewis online, like on the live stream, saying, "Hey, we're gonna have to come up with a way of getting in on a different way of having people support us, where it's not this disgusting 45% cut to the platform. Maybe there's a different way you could send it through Stream Elements. You can send it through Cash App, through PayPal. That always goes straight to the content creators you deserve." Oh yeah, hold on. Gene Rick didn't get my alert when you guys, and I know it was selected. You see what I mean? Like when.
Oh, don't forget the best part. YouTube can block you from getting your ads, but they'll be perfectly fine putting their ads in there.
Exactly. Good freaking grief.
Bastards. So yes, this is why every little inch that you guys give is so important. The slightest amount is enough to keep us going, because that alone means that you're doing more for us than YouTube will ever hope to. By the way, let us not forget, why did Twitch got such a bad rap recently? Because they increased their split revenue to 50-50. And now YouTube is trying to do the same thing. Man, we're getting a little shortchanged here, aren't we?
Just a little bit. That's why I went ahead and I put down the Cash App link and the Stream Elements link, which goes to our PayPal. If it's within your means and if you find it easy enough, and if you wish to continue supporting the Ravens flock, this goes straight to us. No muss, no fuss. And if it's within your means, it goes a long way. And we really I'm even putting down for this is another peek behind the curtain stuff, airing our laundry kind of thing. Literally anything that goes into it from Google, from YouTube, or anything that comes in from Stream Elements or Cash App, that goes straight into an account that we set aside. We don't touch it for anything that isn't related to working on the Ravens vlog. It doesn't go to me for my bills. It doesn't go to Angel for his bills or Jose for his bills. We've got jobs. They suck. We would rather do this full time because
it's 11.
Yeah, we would rather do this full time and make the kind of money, rather make better money than we're making on our straight jobs by doing something we love and something we believe in. But YouTube is making that stuff even dumber and making it worse. So it's like they don't want anyone to use their platform. And I know that's not what they want. They want their cut. But they already get their cut. They get their cut 3 different ways. They're getting paid by the advertisers. And now they're taking the ad revenue that we should be getting, and they're keeping an even bigger portion of the pie for themselves.
Like, how much more do we have to suffer from this?
Yeah, exactly. Like, how much more money do they
There's no need. Exactly. Like, what's the point if they're taking so much at this rate? What's even the point of posting anything in this place?
It just
It's
isn't fair.
ridiculous.
45% can have what can I have what they're smoking? I wish, Gene Rick. Oh my lord. Oh lord.
Once upon a time, this platform was considered to be the champion, and the only reason it hasn't been unholstered yet is because it hasn't done something stupid enough to kill itself yet. Remember, no competition will take this thing down but itself.
Exactly. Oh, Planet Q's Queen's asking us a little hypothetical. The Dragon Zord versus Godzilla, who would win?
Okay,
Angel, let's
shit,
give your
that's
take.
tough.
Okay, that's not a fair question. Come on.
That is so mean.
Hmm.
You know what, Jose? You go first.
Why?
All right, fine. Like what? You want more time to think on it? Okay.
Yes, I got more. I gotta think on it. Because what the hell?
They wouldn't fight, but if they did, who would win?
You know what? I'm gonna take a tough one here, and I'm gonna say the Megazord. Godzilla is
Dragon
the king
Zord.
of monsters. Yeah, the Dragon Sword. Godzilla is the king of monsters, but the Dragon Sword has damn it. The Dragon Sword is basically Godzilla with power armor. It's just the same thing but stronger, and with a human intelligence to pilot it. Like it's too stonk.
It's
The
too
numbers
strong.
are too big.
I agree with Angel on this one.
All right, so that's two out of 3 in favor of the Dragon Zord. Okay, yeah, the Dragon Zord has the hand missiles, right? And it has the drilling tail, right? So it has weaponry. And if it's just the Dragon Zord, and maybe Tommy the Green Ranger, may Jason David Frank rest in peace, is just summoning him or piloting him with the Dragon Dagger, right? If it's just him, then that's that, right? But
Yeah, we've seen the Dragon Sword survive stuff that Godzilla would have trouble dealing with, so I'm not giving this one.
But yeah, no, I think so. It would only be a matter of whether or not It would only be a matter of whether or not Tommy the Green Ranger is in a position where he's out of the reach of Godzilla. Because the moment Godzilla discovers, oh snap, that pilot there's nothing in there. It's semi-sentient. There's the brains, nom, or flame breath. There's only so much that the Green Ranger could do to protect himself from radioactive fire breath, nuclear fire breath from Godzilla. I don't know how powerful and how durable the Power Rangers spandex super space age combat skin is, but nuclear fire breath from Godzilla or being chomped or stomped, that's dead. That's done.
Canonically, power suits have survived nuclear explosions.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
That being said,
The comics go into the lot of it, but let's just say
and
these
I do
bastards are
need to
tough.
bounce.
Jose, you're bouncing out?
So do I.
Yes.
All right. Well, in that case, Jose, I'm going to let you go ahead and give your last word. And Angel, you said you're bouncing out also?
I have work to do tomorrow.
All right. So, Angel, you first. Go ahead. Let us know what we're in for this week, Saturday afternoon on Los Amigos Play.
This Saturday afternoon on Los Amigos Play, we will continue the ever-increasingly insane story of Bayonetta 3. We are currently in ancient Egypt, experiencing witch-time shadow games. It's getting crazy up in here. There was a frog!
There was a giant frog diva lady who wanted to sing her gratitude to us, and it was weird.
It was super weird.
All
I
right,
don't know, I kind of wanted to hear her
Angel,
sing.
last word on tonight's story.
This will simply not come to pass. I don't believe that it will come to pass because there is, not out of altruism or good feelings, but simply because there's too many fingers in too many pies, and passing this law would simply cause too many pie stained fingers to get bruised. And as a result, by sheer finger density, the pie is going to remain untouched, despite metaphorically being filled with fingers. I hate to say it, but since there is no middle ground to be found here, because there is no middle ground to be seen anywhere, this is gonna stay exactly the same. There is no way this can go through. It's too much. It's genuinely asking for too much.
Well, here's hoping that you were right on this one, Angel. I appreciate you coming on tonight, brother. You have yourself a good night, Angel, and I'll see you Saturday, okay, man? Love you, man.
You will.
Indeed,
Take
man.
care, my
Have a good
dudes.
night.
Take care, my folks.
And Jose, I know you're going to give your plugs for tomorrow night's edition of Wrestle Rewind, but to segue into it real quick, somebody did ask, Undertaker versus Yokozuna, who's going to win? Easy. Yokozuna already proved that. 1994, the Royal Rumble casket match for the WWE Championship. Undertaker was champion. Yokozuna was challenging. Yokozuna won. Sorry, that's not an argument. Undertaker lost to Yokozuna. Right, Joe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
sorry, go ahead.
Before I plug, I want to give my final thoughts too. I'm actually agreeing with Angel on this one. Without a middle ground, it's definitely, I don't see this happening to us because, like I said, like too many people, like everyone all over the world, we're all connected to each other with the internet, and we all need the internet. And I hate speaking ill, but like, no, Angel brings up a very good point. You know, grief is not a good enough reason to push for this law, this type of thing to pass. Like, no,
it's a reversal, or it would be a court ruling that would alter or overturn a law, Jose. That's what would happen.
Yeah, no, it's overturning a law, but I'm like, yeah, but like to enforce this type of level of censorship on everyone, like, come on, man, this is so stupid. That's like, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the movie. It's an underrated film. Thank You for Smoking with Aaron Eckhart and Katie Holmes.
Yes, I love that movie.
You know where I'm going with this.
Yep. Michael Jordan plays ball. Charles Manson kills people. I talk.
So
Everybody
in this movie, in the final climax of the movie, during the Senate committee hearing about putting skulls and crossbones onto the labels of cigarettes, this nonprofit committee is trying really hard to try and force that on there.
It was a Senate committee. It was a Senate subcommittee, remember?
Yeah, the Senate subcommittee was trying really hard to push for that to happen, to warn kids about the dangers of cigarettes. And to which Aaron Eckhart countered that argument with this simple: it's all about education. It's all about what we adults teach our children so that they can grow up and make decisions on their own. Okay? I think, and I mean, I'm not sure if this applies here, but I'm like, we don't need this type of level of censorship. Okay, we have grown-ups, we have adults to teach us things.
Also,
okay?
Reverie was in the chat over here. I didn't realize if they were on here earlier, but Reverie, how's it going? I'm sorry if I didn't acknowledge you earlier, but we appreciate.
Don't worry about it, Juan. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about every single person. You're fine. Okay. Anyways, but. Yeah, no, I don't think this is happening, nor do we need this to happen, okay? We don't need, like, a controlled censorship, okay? We need education.
Yeah, no, we would need.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you went dead on me there for 5 seconds, Juan.
No,
you hesitated.
I was contemplating what you were saying over here, and I'm over here thinking like, no, you got it right. It's more a matter of individual responsibility, but it's also a matter of, okay, you're right. We need education.
Exactly.
Who would have to take the onus for this education? Who would have to be responsible for putting forward this education? Because we already have on YouTube, you have like those, sometimes when you have news articles or videos or whatever that discuss a controversial subject, you would have like one of those fact check things underneath. Like anytime there's a video about abortion, for example, is underneath there would be a thing saying this video discusses abortion in the United States, and underneath it would give context and the link to more articles and more information. So would you say that?
Fine. To answer your question, who would need to be responsible for that education? It's simple. Us grown-ups, us adults,
us
in
users.
whatever media, us users, in whatever occupation that we do. the teachers who educate their children in schools, and there's also from the teachers who educate the children in schools to us content creators on YouTube, who are operating on channels to spread the message and spread information. Us, including us in particular,
the Ravens flock.
Yes, exactly.
Well, our motto is your voice, our mission, right? So
exactly, yes, your voice, our mission, and that is another hill that I will die on. Damn it!
No, couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. I appreciate that, Joe. Also, Sam Buddy is over here saying, well, good topic. Intelligent points, been a pleasure. Keep it up, and I'm sure you'll reach bigger success soon enough. See you around. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Sam Buddy. Be sure to check us out, and we'll see you on later down the road. And
now that I'm done now that I'm done giving my 2 cents, now I can go ahead and get my plugs.
Go ahead.
To close on. All right. So for tomorrow night's edition of Wrestle Rewind, where I'll be reviewing this week's WWE NXT, AEW Dynamite, and Impact Wrestling. As we're continuing the road to WrestleMania, I'm actually going to be discussing the main events, and the road to AEW Revolution, which will be on March 2nd, I believe. Hang on, I'm trying to look at my dates here. Calendar time for a few seconds. For just a few seconds.
It's all good.
Here we go. All right. So yeah, it's going to be on Saturday. Hang on, let me take a look here, because AEW Revolution, they have that information here. I don't know if it's on a Saturday, March 4th, or Sunday, March 5th. Because the one thing that I love how they're consistent about is how inconsistent their pay-per-view schedules are.
I mean, they're written out by a coked out dweeb, so what else is new?
You said it, not me.
And I'll continue saying it.
I know. I'm being a jerk.
Yeah, well, so am I.
Anyways, but the point is, we're close to Revolution. We're close to WrestleMania, and for tomorrow night, I'll be talking about for the AEW Dynamite's main event, a triple threat match. And it's for the AEW Women's Division, where Ruby Soho will be going up against Toni Storm and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
And so this is going to be a women's division match. All right, cool.
Yes, indeed.
And also, Planet Q's Queen was over here reminding that this Saturday is WWE's Elimination Chamber event. And she was asking, has Raw been boring to you guys too, or is it just me?
I'm gonna say no. Maybe it's because this week was like a lot of the content for this week's Monday Night Raw was solid. The one great thing about Monday Night Raw was the promo segment between Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn.
Yeah, that was nice. These guys are doing a hell of a job.
Really good.
Also,
that being said, getting back onto the plugs here, another main event I will be talking about tomorrow night from NXT is the women's tag team match. A lot of women's wrestling that's being highlighted. Where I'm not going to give away the details, but Katana Chance and Kaden Carter are back in tag team action against Roxanne Perez and a surprise partner who I will talk about tomorrow.
Ooh, I think I know who it is. I think I saw, but I won't say anything.
You shut your dirty mouth.
I will.
Go puke. Don't puke. Don't. No.
Don't worry. I pinched my lips shut. Do not worry. I won't say anything on the stream. I will ask you when we're off the air, though, because I think I saw and I need to be sure. But I'll check with you there.
Absolutely. That being said, thank you very much for having me on. As always, it's been a pleasure. And the folks watching, you guys have been great. You guys have left some really good comments, asked a lot of really good questions. And that's what I like about our community, is that we're actually discussing these topics, and we're actually flexing our brain muscles and asking and going into full details of what we're talking about. It's good. I like that. I like that a lot.
So do I.
All right. So anyways, have a good night, folks. Just remember to be responsible and be mindful of the news that you're getting, where you're getting your news from, and remember that we're all human beings.
There we go, Jose. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. You have yourself a good night, Joe.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
That was Jose Casabona, folks, the head of the Ravens flock, the man with the plan. All right, so let's see. I'm going to give my final take on all this. And firstly, I want to thank Jose and Angel for joining us, and I want to thank all of you guys for being a part of the stream over here. Aaron Cooper showing up over here. Holy cow. Hi, all. Hi there, Aaron. Welcome to the Black Files. We're actually starting to wrap up over here. Let me see. Vicente Ruby Soho has said one time in 10 million clicks would happen. I wish. Destination, oh no, Ruby Soho. That's not going to get clicks. That's going to get us demonetized even further. God, I wish the algorithm wasn't so screwy. In any case, yeah, no, it's okay, Aaron. It's okay. I totally get it. It's not the end of the world, but we do appreciate that you're coming back. Check this out. Go ahead and rewatch this. We're going to start wrapping up in a second here. Putting it simply, this was an extremely heavy topic. Putting it simply, this was definitely not for the faint of heart, and I really wish that I could have gotten more details and maybe made this a little bit more entertainment-y for folks, make it a little bit more digestible. But the fact of the matter is we got to talk about it hard and stiff, because if we don't, then it'll be misrepresented, it'll be misconstrued, something will come out of it, and it won't be good. We want to make sure that we present this stuff as factually correct as it could possibly be. And the Joseph Santos, you're saying, pleasure to be here. Glad you guys are covering this. Everyone should. Yeah, no kidding. This one is a big one. And I hope to God that every single one of these episodes get brought up, and I get that I get that this is a hard issue for a lot of folks to follow. But putting it simply, is there more news to come? We hope. We'll have to start following this starting the 21st. So we have about 4 or 5 days from now. Actually 5 days from now. Gene Rick is saying, Juancho, no more baby shaved face. Glad to see the mustache growing back in. It was literally this. I was just shaving this off, and I was going to trim this down like I normally do, but when I went ahead and I used the buzzer to put this down, I nicked too much under here, right under my nose, and that's threw all of it off. I'm like, crap! I had to take all the rest of it off to go with it. It's the only way. Otherwise, I'll look weird with a lopsided beard going on, lopsided goatee. Yeah, no, I do look weird without. If I'm completely clean shaven and baby face, I do look really weird with it. Okay, that's not the point. The point is this issue, this court case, Gonzalez v. Google. It's not for the faint of heart. There is a lot of stuff that people have to read through and go through in order to get the information on it. That's why we went ahead and we went 2 hours like we normally do on the Black Files. We cut to the heart of the matter. We try to show every aspect, every element of this as we possibly can to give as much context to this. At the end of the day, it feels like it's too big, but if we don't discuss this stuff, and if we don't have these big, hard discussions, other people, like that a-hole senator from Texas, I don't want to say his name anymore, I can only rinse my mouth out so much with my zero sugar Pepsi. By the way, Pepsi, hi, will gladly take a sponsorship. I don't care. I'll take the Britney deal if you got it. I know that she had a sweetheart deal where she had Pepsi and Frito-Lays for life or whatever. I'll gladly take that sponsorship, that endorsement. I don't care. We'll be the Pepsi flock. I'm sure Jose will probably have something to say about that, but you get what I'm saying. Point is, other people in power will have those discussions for us, and they will not have them in good faith. They will have them with their own self-interest in mind. And the consequences of letting those kind of discussions happen behind closed doors are too big for us to ignore. And like I said, please spread the word, share this channel, share this video, share this episode, share all the content of the Ravens Flock, because we don't just talk about this kind of stuff here. On the Black Files, on this program, we talk about all sorts of stuff in that's on the dark side of geek and pop culture. We bring it to the light, and we grant you access to it every Wednesday night here at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Simulcasting on YouTube and Twitch. That being said, I want to thank you all very much for joining us, and we hope to see you next time on another episode of the Black Files. We appreciate you all very much for joining us tonight. I'm your host, Juan Arauz. As we, like I said, and join us every Wednesday night as we bring you to the dark side of geek and pop culture, nerdy pop culture, and cut to the truth in the heart of the matters. And join us, and be sure to join us as we grant you access live every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, simulcasting on YouTube and Twitch. Hit the subscribe or the follow button. Ring the notification bell to stay up to date on all of our content. Become an inner flocker by hitting the join button or clicking on this link. And until next time, continue to follow us on Facebook.com/TheRavensFlock, Twitter.com/RavensFlock13, Instagram.com/TheRavensFlockOnline, Twitch.tv/TheRavensFlockOnline, and of course, remember to hit the subscribe button and ring that notification bell right here on our flagship platform, YouTube.com/TheRavensFlock, for as long as it lasts. Humble home of the Black Files, Los Amigos Play, Wrestle Rewind, and the Ravens Flock. For Jose Casabona and Angel Mendez, I am Juan Arauz. This has been the Black Files, and we